stand on God for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on God for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on God for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And happy Wednesday night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming out to the Turn 3 Racing Network. We are watching the Racing for a Cause East Coast edition here tonight and getting ready to bring you some exciting short track action. Tonight's sponsor, Mike Holtzclaw. We'll get in touch with him in just a little bit. Right now, my name is Chris, and joining me as always, my good friend Rick. Rick, how are you tonight, brother?
Hey, buddy, I'm doing fabulous, man. I'm excited to be here down in South Boston for 125 laps of door-to-door action here tonight. The second to the last race. We only got one more after this one, man. Next week, we're going to be at 5 Flags, wrapping out the season. We're going to be crowning 2 champions. So that's going to be something.
Yeah, very, very cool. And I have to apologize ahead of time. The points, for whatever reason, did not update, but we're going to go through them right now. On the East Coast side, you got Ryan Nolan, that driver right there in the 87. He is leading the way here on the East Coast. He's got Brian Hacker sitting in second spot within striking distance, Rick, on the 8 points behind. 8 points behind. James McIntyre Jr. bumps himself 2 points after last week's race, and man, sitting in third spot. Matt Vade in fourth. Rex Hoyle, Colin Allman, Jeffrey Stiles, Zach Coyer, Mark Farvert, and AJ Hamill, Matthew Spinks tied for 10th spot. Things get a little bit more, I guess, almost determined if you want to go for the overall picture of things, because it's starting to get to be a little bit of a runaway. We're going to take a peek at that right now. Let's see, standings, there we go. Brian Hacker with a pretty impressive lead right now over AJ Hamill. That lead, 44 points. Remember, Hacker just barely squeaked over that West Coast Championship at the very last race of the West Coast run. And Hacker has continued to have a very solid season, looking to try and become the overall champion, if not the West and East Coast. AJ Hamill is sitting second. Rex Hoyle, Ryan Nolan, Matt Vade, James McIntyre Jr., Matthew Spinks, 7th spot overall. Al Smith Jr., Justin Rigsby, and Zach Coyer rounding out the top 10 in the overall championship.
A couple interesting things to note, Chris. AJ Hamill not out there on track there tonight, has not shown up yet. And I'm looking, Brian Hacker, he has done a few laps here in practice, but right now not being shown on the racing surface. So not sure what's going on. That could be huge.
He's out there right now, bud.
Is he now?
Yeah.
Why is he?
Because of heat racing. So the heats are separated already.
I'm not in heat racing yet, though.
No, you're not, but they are. The cars are separated. So if you click on his name, it'll light up the other group.
Oh, okay. There we go.
There we go. See?
I saw that he disconnected a couple of times and came back in, but now I have the UI HUD hidden. So
the old man, he'll learn you up. Yeah, we got about 3 minutes left to go before we get underway with the heat racing, Rick. And a couple of things we got to let you guys know about. First of all, I had kind of mentioned last week that there's going to be a charity race coming up in January, and we're extremely proud to announce that on January 25th, 2020, it's a Saturday night, there will be a charity race between the Racing for a Cause guys and the Blazing Pedals League. That charity race will be supporting the Head and Neck Cancer Alliance. The broadcast will be right here with Rick and myself and maybe a couple others. We'll figure that out as we get a little closer. 100% of the money taken in will be donated directly to the charity. Rick, these guys, and I'm going to talk about them in a minute, but they have been working almost ad nauseum. My phone just doesn't stop. All hours of the day and night it is ringing. I'm talking about Terry Foster, Troy Radford. You know, it's a great story. Terry Foster from the Blazing Pedals says, hey, Chris, why don't you see if maybe Racing for a Cause would be willing to do a charity race with us? And I said, you know, that's a heck of an idea, Terry. So I got a hold of Troy, and of course, Troy's all in. So here we are. Again, it's going to be on January 25th, 2020. And it's the last Saturday of the month. Guys, we have some great sponsors coming on board. Right now, it's looking like we're going to be well over $1,000 to donate. And that is absolutely huge. Absolutely stunning. Within 24 hours, Rick, of these guys posting on their respective team pages, 19 slots have already been filled up.
yeah, they're looking to have at least, you know, the max is going to be 43 cars, just like a normal NASCAR race, like back in the old days. And already, though, like you said, 24 hours, they're filling up, man. And people, you know, it's only a $10 entry fee, but people are being generous, which is very tough around this time of year. So my heart and thanks goes out to everybody out there with bringing up the money. Like you said, it's going to blow way over 1,000, I think.
Yeah, great sponsors coming on board. And I don't think it's too early to call it. TRJkarting.com, one of those sponsors. Vapor Trail, going to be one of those sponsors. Dr. Squatch, Soap, going to be one of those sponsors. I know I'm missing some off the top of my head, but ladies and gentlemen, we certainly cannot wait to get that charity race underway. Again, 100% of the proceeds all going to the Head and Neck Cancer Alliance Foundation, getting ready to go between Racing for a Cause and Blazing Pedals. And I was looking at the entry field so far, Rick. Between the two leagues, it's almost even. I'm digging it.
It's pretty even, though. That's one thing that I was kind of worried about. You know, I mean, you don't want to put too many Blazing Pedal guys in there and only have a few RFC, but man, both leagues are doing a fantastic job. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a great track. It's going to be a fun car. I'm excited for it, man. I mean, 2020, it's going to be a good year. That's a way to start out a year. These guys are going to be able to start their racing seasons. Both RFC and Blazing Pedals are going to be taking a break until February. So what a way to kick off the season, kick off the new year.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. K&N car at old MIS, man. That is going to be a hell of a race. I can't wait to call that one. It's going to be a fun night. And certainly, I'm already pumped for it. It's like it's going on right now, man. I am ready to go. And speaking of ready to go, Rick, we are getting ready to go for heat number 1. All right, the field has been drawn for heat race number 1, and they are gridding currently on the pole. The 87 of Ryan Nolan draws the lucky straw, and he sits in front. Jeffrey Stiles sitting to his outside. Matthew Spink starting third. Mark Farbert in fourth spot. Justin McDuff, Andy Lambert out there. I don't know why he's showing a lap down. Man, he is slow here tonight. Justin Rigsby, James McIntyre Jr., and AJ Rogers making out heat number 1. It's time to get this thing going, Rick. Heat racing, man.
Oh, I love heat racing, Chris, and that track looks beautiful out there. The sun's just kind of shining on there. The track temperature right now, 82 degrees. That air temperature holding steady at 72. Wind out of the north, about 2 miles per hour.
Yes, sir. And that Ford Mustang going to take one more trip around this 4/10 of a mile track. South Boston. This is going to be an exciting little race here. And these guys were kind of all over the place a little bit here during practice, and hopefully the weather change between practice and heat 1 here will make a little bit of a difference on the handling of these cars. We're going to find out here very shortly as the pace car getting ready to come down pit road. Green flag is out. Ryan Nolan stomps on that go pedal and into turn 1, assumes the lead.
And Nolan just kind of pulling away right now. Matthew Spinks trying to catch up there, sitting in second place. Right behind Spinks, we have Stiles and McDuff. They're trying to battle it out right now. McDuff's down there on that inside lane. And Stiles making that outside lane work really well for him here tonight. He moves up to third position.
Justin Rigsby in the 99 right behind, and they're in a battle with the 44. Mark Farber. Farber stuck on the outside. And he may pay for that call to go up, because here comes AJ Rogers in the 17.
Yep, Rogers got his nose in there, Chris. He's going to be trying to go around right now. Farber able to hang on with that number 44.
Andy Lambert, his number 72, stuck in 8th position with James McIntyre Jr. right behind him. Here comes Lambert. Oh, we got him spinning. Lambert able to thread the needle. The 99 around and in the fence. Caution is out. We'll go back and take a peek. So watching the 99, it looks like he goes down. Oh, well, he's way under the yellow line, but okay there. Comes off the corner. Oh, the 44 may have gone into him, and the 17 gets collected. And into that outside retaining wall goes the 99, and Rigsby gets it back on the track. Travert going to take full responsibility of that one, Rick. He takes the EOL all the way back to the end of the line. He goes with 9 laps to go here under qualifying. Lucky guy right there, Andy Lambert, able to thread the needle. He was sitting in 8th spot before this caution came out, now sitting in 5th. I want to go ahead and thank everybody for coming on out tonight, watching a little bit of racing here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. This is the Racing for a Cause Super Late Model East Coast Edition. Second to last race of the season. Ryan Nolan, who has been damn near flawless for this half of the season, sitting in first place here in heat race number 1. And I'm sure that's where he would like to finish out. I'd give him a nice pole spot for the race. Boy, he's been strong this half of the season.
Yeah, he really has, Chris. I mean, you know, he's having pretty good luck here at SoBo right now, but Matthew Spink starting right there on his outside. I'm going to give him a run for his money, I have a feeling.
Pace car down, and Ryan Nolan wastes no time. On the loud pedal he goes, dives into turn 1. Matthew Spink's going to try and hold on to second, doing it on the outside. The 85, Jeffrey Styles trying to sneak in. Can't quite get there. And now the 20 of Justin McDuff working the outside of Styles.
And that 87 is fast there tonight, Chris.
Yeah, this track really will suit Ryan Nolan's driving. Oh, we got Andy Lambert hard into the inside retaining wall. Dead stop. Backs out on the track. And we stay under the green. So Andy able to keep it going. But, man, from 5th to last, here in heat race number 1, Andy Lambert plows into that inside retaining wall. Not sure exactly what happened. Nonetheless, Ryan Nolan continues to lead the charge here in heat 1 as he gets into turn number 3 and comes out of turn number 4. The corners here are a little bit bigger than you think they would be, since it is only a 0.4 of a mile track. Just lets you know how short those straightaways are.
Yeah, they're teeny tiny. I mean, once those guys come out of turns, you know, either, well, whatever turn they go into, you know, they're on the gas for a little bit, then boom, right back on the brake.
Flagman busy throwing that white flag in the air. This is the final time around for heat 1, and Ryan Nolan starting to pull away. 0.5 of a second lead over Matthew Spinks. Now to the start finish line, Ryan Nolan takes heat 1. So just the way Ryan wanted to get tonight started, Matthew Spinks, Jeffrey Styles rounding out the top 3. A good run out of Spinks and Styles as we get ready for heat race number 2. Boy, look at the names in this one. My Lord. On the pole, he's second place in points. It's going to be the 11 of Brian Hacker. Chris Stump to his outside. The 51 of Dylan Blankenship sitting in third spot. Travis Wright in the 10 to his outside. Al Smith Jr. in 5th. Mike Holtzclaw, tonight's sponsor, sitting in 6th place. Chad Meadows and Gary Eschen rounding out heat race number 2. Brian Hacker, what a season he is having. Both West and East Coast, he has been so strong.
Yeah, he's definitely been having a really good season, Chris. You know, took the Western Championship, came over here. Now, we talked to him a couple times, and he doesn't want to, he wants to sweep the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
He wants it all, and he's been racing like he wants it too.
Yeah, that Mustang certainly doing its thing out there this season. Brian Hacker waiting for the signal as the pace car drops down onto pit road. Hacker's field. Green is out, and we are underway for heat race number 2. 15 laps to go. Brian Hacker on the inside. Chris Stump on the outside. Stump bounces off the wall a little bit. Almost collects Hacker. They stay off from each other, and we continue on. Lap number 1, no clear victor there as Hacker did lead it, but Stump holds onto that outside. He's finding a bump in the track up there, Rick.
Yeah, every time he goes around, he's bumping right up and almost nailing into the wall. But man, Chris Stump not giving up second position there on the outside right there. But Brian Hacker doing a fabulous job leading these guys down through. Now they're nose to tail, Chris.
Nose
this is where
to
it's
tail.
going to get interesting.
Yeah, this is good racing. Dylan Blankenship sitting in third spot. Al Smith Jr. right behind him. And Smith running a really inside line. Almost out of nose. Oh, Dylan Blankenship almost loses it. The rear end tried to come out of these things. It's a loose car tonight. That's what we were seeing during practice. And it looks like during the heats, at the very least, it is still kind of loose there. Hacker up front, getting followed by Chris Stump, Dylan Blankenship, your top 3. Al Smith Jr., Travis Wright, Gary Eschen, Chris Meadows. Mike Holtzclaw, unfortunately, doesn't look like he actually took the green. He's sitting 5 laps down. So much like the first heat so far anyway, Rick. You get out front, you got that fresh air, you just race the track and don't worry about what's going on behind you. Although Hacker not quite as able to pull away from Stump as Ryan Nolan was able to. Yeah,
Nolan was able to just pull away, but Chris Stump right now, I mean, he hasn't, NSA, we broadcast them there a few months ago, Chris, and just not Chris Stump's night. Now he's trying to turn around here at the Racing for a Cause, and he's been doing a really good job, and we know for a fact Chris Stump, he's a short track racer, but man, he's got some stiff competition out there in front of him right now. Brian Hacker has been doing everything just right this season.
Yeah, it's like Hacker was listening in or something, because all of a sudden 0.4 of a second, almost 5, is the gap back to Chris Stump. So that is starting to open up new third place runner Al Smith Jr. So Smith able to take over third spot from the 51 of Blankenship. Eshin, Wright, and Meadows rounding out the field. So now with about 4 laps to go, that gap is 0.5 of a second, Rick.
It is. Man, you're reading my mind tonight, man.
Sorry, but I'm pumped up. I want this charity race to get here ASAP. This is going to be a good one. I can't wait. Skill Car, how's it going, bud? Good to see you out there. I was hoping to see you out there again tonight. A lot of fun talking to you in chat.
Yes, sir. Hopefully you had a good Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. It's all downhill from here now.
White flag this time by as the 11 has led this heat race from the drop of the green flag, and white flag is out. Flagman not having to do a lot of work here. Drop the green, drop the crossbars, and then boom, white flag. Now checkers getting ready as Brian Hacker comes out of turn 4 across the start finish line, heat 2 winner. So it's going to be Hacker, Stump, and Al Smith Jr., your top 3. Heat race number 2 is very, very exciting. We've got 5 minutes for warm-up. We're going to see if we can get a hold of tonight's race sponsor, Mike Holtzclaw, who unfortunately wasn't in that last heat race like he was supposed to be. So not sure what happened there. Mike Holtzclaw, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Hey, bud. First of all, thank you for sponsoring tonight's race, man. Very, very cool of you to do. What happened in that heat race, man? Did you just miss the start?
Yeah, everything took off fine, and my screen just went blank. My wheel worked to the right, and everything came out. I'm not sure what happened. So I guess I'll watch from the sidelines.
Well, I'll tell you what it might be, and this is just based on how you're sounding here. You're coming over like you have a bad connection here tonight.
That's highly possible. It's not the greatest in the world here.
Man, okay, I'm gonna try this, and we're gonna see if we can hear it. But you are sponsoring tonight's race. Do you want to talk about what you are sponsoring for?
Yeah, on pit road, it's a motorsports website. Everything from iRacing all the way up to the top 3 at NASCAR. Anything you use, news stories, just pretty much anything.
Oh, but I got to be honest with you. I caught about 6 or 7 words there, and I hope your internet clears up. We're going to try and talk to you again. And, man, look, I hope you have a real good night out there, Mike. You hold on strong tonight, okay? Mike Holtzclaw, driver of the number 22, tonight's race sponsor. And, man, what a guy. You know, he is a good dude. I've talked to Mike a few times, and that's why I was able to pick it up, man. He is having some sort of internet connection.
Yeah, you can definitely hear it in the chatter there, Chris. And, something we're going to have to keep an eye on definitely here tonight. But basically tonight, Mike Holtzclaw is sponsoring the race with the onpitroad.com website. So I put the link in chat. It is also down below for folks that watch this after tonight's race. Go and check it out. It's basically, they talk about all kinds of, it's NASCAR news is basically what it is, and it's fabulous.
Yeah. And Brad, we're going to be talking about this charity race pretty much all night. I mean, we'll probably talk about some of the racing that's happening, but really it's about the charity race that's coming up here. on January 25th, 2020. And that man right in chat, Terry Foster, a big deal. And Terry, I already gave you props here, but Terry has done, along with Troy, just a hell of a lot of work here in a very, very short time, man. We have put this thing together quick, fast, and in a hurry. And as of tonight, when I went live, 19 spots have been filled in the first 24 hours. If you're a member of Racing for a Cause or Blazing Pedals and you haven't decided to race this one, guys, I'm telling you, you got to hit that donate button. It's $10 to get into the field, and then let's race. As I said earlier, great cause, right? Great cause. And it's going to be really cool. You're going to see what I believe, and I have said, and Rick, I know you've said it too, but probably the two best leagues on iRacing, my feelings, so I can't be wrong because it's my feelings. Two best leagues on iRacing getting ready to join forces for the Head and Neck Alliance, Head and Neck Cancer Alliance, charity race again. January 25th, 2020. And I know we have a start time, but I'll be darned if I can. I think it's 8 o'clock. Terry, you want to correct me if I'm wrong there? I'm pretty sure it's 8 o'clock, which means we're going to go live at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, we got a lot of people to talk to during that race, Chris. It's going to be fabulous. I mean, you and I, we've been doing a couple of charity races here and there. But this one here has taken off like you would not believe. I mean, the field is almost half full within 24 hours. It's just going to be amazing.
Sponsorships are on board. Terry Foster, I didn't mention this before, Rick. I don't know if you caught this or not. But on top of donating his $10 to race, Terry Foster donating money to the top 3 finishers.
Yeah, and TNA Motorsports also.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable what these guys are doing. It's so incredibly awesome. Again, I want to thank our known sponsors right now. We got Vapor Trail Clothing, TRJ Karting, Dr. Squatch Soap, and I'm sure I'm missing some, but my God, this is going to be great. Linda, nice to see you out there, hon. Thank you for coming on out on a Wednesday night as we get ready to go. Rick, we're going to get ready to grid the field. Tonight on the pole, the driver of the number 87. That's going to be Ryan Nolan. To his outside, it's going to be Brian Hacker. Interesting point here. Ryan Nolan comes in as the East Coast points leader. Brian Hacker in second. On the next row, it's going to be Matthew Spink starting third in his number 35. Chris Stump fourth in his 98. Starting in fifth place tonight, Jeffrey Stiles. Al Smith Jr. takes over sixth spot. In seventh position, it's going to be Justin McDuff, Gary Eschen in eighth. And ninth place, Rick, it's going to be AJ Rogers in the 17. Travis Wright in his number 10, starting 10th.
And then starting grid row number 6, the number 99 going to be starting 11th, Justin Rigsby. We got the 3 of Chad Meadows going to be starting 12th, Chris. The next row 7 is going to be the 81 of James McIntyre Jr. in 13th. Dylan Blankenship in the 51 going to be starting 14th. Row number 8 is going to consist of the 44 of Mark Brabert in 15th. Mike Holscott, tonight's sponsor, going to be starting that 22 in 16th position. And then rounding out the field, Chris, not having the heat race that he wanted, is going to be the number 72 of Andy Lambert in 17th.
Interesting point here right now. Mike Holscott not on the field. And we go under the green flag for the first time tonight, a main feature race. And Ryan Nolan, Brian Hacker doing exactly what I thought they were going to do. They're racing it out side by side, coming out of turn number 4.
Both those drivers have dominated their heat race, Chris. Now it's up to them to try to figure out who is the best here tonight. Right now, Ryan Nolan able to hang on to the lead there, but Hacker very close behind. Matthew Spinks having a great run there, and that number 35 sitting in third place. He's got Chris Stump right behind him, and that number 98 fourth, rounding out that top five. Jeffrey Stiles is sitting there.
Yeah, and here comes Al Smith Jr. Smith trying to get it done on the outside, and we've seen it kind of work out there. You got to be careful with that wall, though, and there's some bumps out there. We saw that in the heat, too, with Chris Stump. Get a little too close to that wall, man. You hit a bump, and it could get to the point where it's ruining your day. The 20 of Justin McDuff, speaking of trying to ruin your day, he gets down on the inside of Al Smith, looking for a pass going into turn number 1.
You know, we talked about that bump and the drivers getting into the wall, Chris. That's exactly what happened to the number 40 machine, Gary Eashan. He was out there, he was racing, and those guys were 2x2, and they were just bouncing off the wall and into each other. But right now, they've kind of gone nose to tail. Right now, the whole field is pretty much all nose to tail, trying to figure out. You got the 17 right now of AJ Rogers sitting in 9th position. He's peaking a little bit here and there, but he's staying right behind that number 40 machine.
Yeah, AJ Rogers. You know, he started this season very, very strong. He's kind of faded as of late, but look for a good run here out of the 17. Man, I am looking at these cars still, Rick, and just some of those updates that they did. Holy cow, it is awesome. Terry, thank you for correcting me on those points. And yes, the server will open 7 o'clock Eastern Standard qualifying at 8 o'clock, 10-minute qualifying. Although their drivers are only going to be able to use 5. I'm going to take the other 5 for myself. And man, there's just so much information. I've tried to, I hate to be a little crass, but it's like, I can't say verbal, so it's got to be like literature diarrhea. The stuff I've been reading here, these guys between Terry and Troy, they've got this thing on lockdown. I'm stepping away. They take care of the rest.
And they've been doing a fabulous job, Chris. I mean, you and I, we had a part in starting racing for a cause, and then we brought Andy in with us. And, you know, obviously we've had some help there with Troy, bringing those guys in as admins, Rick Greenaway. And we came up with a vision, though, you and I. We were sitting there talking one night, and we're just like, hey, we should do something with causes. And then we said, how cool would it be if we could actually start doing charity races and actually collecting money and donating that money instead of going out to the drivers and everything else, donate that money to a cause. And, you know, we both agreed that would be really cool. We never thought it would, you know, happen as fast as it did. But this is going to be, what, the 3rd or 4th one that we've actually been a part of?
Yeah, this is going to be, and by all measure, it could be the biggest.
Oh, it's going to be one of the biggest because, like you said, I mean, maybe we're a little biased. I don't know. There's a lot of great leagues out there on iRacing. A lot of them are broadcast here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Chris and I, we've broadcasted quite a few, but 2 of the best ones, our favorite ones, are going to be joining forces, man. I mean, that's going to be huge.
Absolutely. Speaking of huge, I don't know if you caught it there, but the 98 of Chris Stump goes to the outside, gets around Matthew Spinks. Now the 20 is trying to work the inside lane. Justin McDuff on fire.
Yeah, that Arts Barbershop machine doing everything he can to try to work his way up through. Right now being scored in 4th. He's able to get around the 35 of Matthew Spinks, but Spinks not giving up yet.
Now, Rick, I want you to know when it comes to this charity race that while we do start qualifying at 8 o'clock, which means we do go live at 7:30, Terry gave me permission. He gave me permission. He's like, you know, I would actually be disappointed if he didn't. He said, I want you absolutely drinking wobbly pops and adult beverages starting no later than 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Which means I've got 2.5 hours.
I'll stretch out my 2.
Yeah, he said wobbly pops and adult beverages. I'm guessing he means like a caffeine-free Diet Coke?
I don't think so.
Ryan Nolan sitting up front in his number 87. Brian Hacker has not let him go. He is right on that back bumper, but the 98 of Chris Stump trying to close in on the top 2. And it took him a little while to get around Matthew Spinks, but now that he is starting to catch him up. Justin McDuff in the purple number 20. He is also doing a hell of a job out there tonight. He is right on that rear deck here of Chris Stump. Going to follow him through Matthew Spinks rounding out the top 5. Al Smith Jr. was pushed out. He's sitting in 6th spot right now. And we talked about this cat earlier on, the 17, AJ Rogers. He's moved himself all the way up to 7th spot. Gary Eschen back to 8th. Jeffrey Stiles in 9th. And Justin Rigsby rounding out the top 10. Uh-oh.
And then from Rigsby in number 11th position, James McIntyre Jr. Andy Lambert in the 72 is sitting in 12th position. Mark Frabert in the 44, 13th. Dylan Blankenship, 14th. Chad Meadows in that 3 machine in 15th. Travis Wright rounding up the field in 16th, Chris. And like you said, it looks like those connections issues have really hampered the 22. I believe he said that he's having some kind of storm.
Oh, okay.
So I thought I heard
it.
the word storm. So yeah. And 7:15. Okay, that sounds good. I'll sip. Don't worry. I'll put my pinky out. Everything will be good. Yes, son of a fluffer.
Ryan Nolan leads another one, and he has led them all. Yeah, Skittle, I believe you're right.
Yep, the groove's moving up.
Groove is moving up. Chris Stump was able to kind of get that started, and we are under caution. Looks like it's going to be the 85 of Jeffrey Stiles. We're going to have to go back. Oh, yeah. We're going to go back and take a peek, see what happened. We're watching him. The 85, he's to the outside of the 40. 40 Gary Eschen. Oh, Stiles comes off and gets loose. Oh, the 81 almost climbs underneath. Hard impact for the 85. Just gets a little bit loose, and man, that is all it takes. So caution 1 here from South Boston. And this man here, the 87 of Ryan Nolan, has led every single lap here so far.
Oh, I know it's all in love, brother. I know. I'm just gonna I'm trying to stay focused tonight. I took my ADHD medicine. I'm gonna try to stay on track. I've also, I played a little bit of Theme Hospital, so my bloated head, I got that fixed now. I'm gonna be drinking water Saturday, January 25th. I see how it is. You bastard.
Somebody caught up in the chat.
Well, I had to. The work that was just gone, because like you said, as soon as I joined, I got home and I had like 16 messages already. I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
So I started reading and I'm like, these guys, they got it all figured. I mean, Troy's been around. Troy's helped. We put Terry in good hands with Troy, because Troy Radford has done outstanding work with us for Racing for a Cause. We're so glad that he joined and helped us out.
Absolutely. I'm going to take over for just a second, Rick, as pace car lights are off. Cars will wind up 2 by 2. We're getting set to go back under the green. Pace car drops off on a pit road, and the 87 doesn't waste any time at all. He is on that loud pedal and waking his way through 1 and 2. They ought to. They ought to be teching those things out, because I'm telling you, these guys are hitting those brakes hard to get into these corners, and you have to. Short track, 0.4 of a mile here in South Boston. Not even really, but we'll round up. Holy cow. Here comes Brian Hacker. He's taking a peek on the inside. Maybe just trying to keep Ryan Nolan honest. I think that might be what it is.
I think he's looking for the titanium parts on that machine.
Yeah, titanium calipers. Or piston caps. I think it's what it was,
Piston
actually.
caps, yeah, it was just a little piston cap. Been around for 15 some odd years. If not longer.
Whoa, Hacker gets really loose coming off from 2, able to gather it back up. And I'm telling you, that's just kind of season that Hacker has had this year. Even when he has a little miscue, somehow he just kind of steers out of it, finds his way back straight.
But my heart just skipped like 5 beats right there, so I'm sure Hacker definitely had a pucker moment there. But
oh yeah,
Hacker, outstanding driver. He knows what he's doing out there.
Yeah, that engine revved up a little bit when he started to break free, and it hit the brown note, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Field pretty much nose to tail, except for a battle for 5th spot. Oh,
Ooh, Spinks.
Ooh! Ooh! AJ Rogers and the 35 get together. And somehow we stay under the green. Matthew Spinks, AJ Rogers running 5th and 6th. Now Spinks running in 10th. Rogers all the way back to 13th position. My Lord.
That was scary.
I couldn't even talk. All I could do was the ooze. All this said, I think it's about time we go right through the field. Your leader right now. The 87, Ryan Nolan, Brian Hacker in 2nd spot. The 98 of Chris Stump rolling in 3rd. Justin McDuff in 4th. Gary Eschen picking up spot number 5. Behind him, Al Smith Jr. Justin Rigsby in the 99, running in 7th spot with Mark Fravert. Fravert. In the 44, running in 8th spot. Travis Wright. That's a beautiful car right there. I like that red, white, and gold. Anyway, Travis Wright sitting in 9th spot, so he's up 1 spot from the start of this race. Matthew Spinks right behind him, running in 10th. Dylan Blankenship in the 51, running in 11th spot. Andy Lambert has worked his way from the cellar all the way up to 12th spot. AJ Rogers, we just saw that action between him and Spinks. Rogers now in 13th spot. James McIntyre, very quiet, unlike him on a short track. The 81 sitting back in 14th. Jeffrey Stiles in 15th spot, 1 lap down. And Chad Meadows on pit road, Ricky, 16 laps down.
Yeah, Meadows not having the night here that he was hoping for at South Boston, Chris. I still like that car, though. I mean, you got the Dale Earnhardt Jr. old AC Delco paint scheme. He's got the American Diabetes Association on the hood. It's unfortunate we're seeing it there from pit road.
Yeah. Ryan Nolan, Brian Hacker. I don't believe this race is done. Justin McDuff able to get around Chris Stump for 3rd. And top 3 cars are just, they're almost the same. You know, they really are. Speed-wise, they're running slightly different lines, all 3 of them, but it seems like they have the same speed. That Ford Mustang in 2nd, though, he is looking for a way to try and go around. That top side lane is starting to come in, and Ryan Nolan starting to use it. As we are under caution. Car. Looks like Gary Eschen maybe in the 40. Yep. We'll go back. So we got Al Smith Jr. and Eschen in the picture. Jr. is going to be on the inside in his number 96. Eschen in the 40. Up top. Oh, I'm going to call that net code. Or Eschen got a little loose, one or the other.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say because it looked like a little bit of net code, but I think the 40 did get a little bit loose.
That scrubbed speed and allowed the
96
to get in. Yeah, that's a tough one. Back live. And yeah, McDuff, he's definitely working the field here. Justin McDuff, he started in 7th spot. He's worked his way now up to 3rd. So a good run out of him. And he's really good on short tracks too, Rick. You know, he really is. And I don't care what car you put him in either. It's like he just understands short track racing.
Yeah, he gets the short track racing for sure.
Well, 52 laps. Getting set to start on lap 53 here under caution.
The sun starting to set, man. It's beautiful out there right now.
I love it. A couple of clouds in the sky, but nothing threatening. And they're saving power on the light bill. They have not turned them on yet. Hard to believe, Rick. Next week going to be our last race for a little while.
Yeah, well, right up until January 25th, Chris, we're going to be off, man. I mean, of course, we got Christmas the week after next, so
Yeah, you didn't have to remind me about that one.
that'll take that Wednesday night. Maybe we should broadcast us opening presents.
I'm game.
You got to remember though, it's a Wednesday night, so gotta be good. It's a school night.
School night, yeah. And the pace car came off, and before he was even on pit road, the 87 hit the go pedal. That's going to allow McDuff to try and take over second on the inside. Hacker fighting for everything he has on the outside. The 11 doesn't want to give up that second place finish. He's only 8 points behind Ryan Nolan for the East Coast side of this series, Rick. He'd hate to give one up here.
Well, I mean, Hacker's kind of in a tough position, Chris, because he doesn't want the 20 to get by him because he wants to stay glued right to Ryan Nolan. But he's also going to be burning up his equipment just a little bit there, trying to fight and keep McDuff where he needs to be. And we've seen these guys, I mean, not just the drivers, but we've seen the cars, you know, they hit that
Oh
bump just
no!
like that.
McDuff gets into Hacker, and Hacker takes McDuff, and oh my goodness! Oh, it's a big one too. Oh boy! 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 cars involved at least. Oh man!
But look who came out in second position still.
Yeah. Tough break all around. We're gonna go back and take a peek. This was what I was going to say, but you were talking, which is fine. I'm not saying anything bad, but these two got really close and then just too close.
Well, I was going into because right there at turn 4 there, Chris, that's where that bump is that we've been seeing people hit and going into the wall.
Yeah. And I believe if you watch, Hacker hits that thing. But, oh, actually, no, he didn't. The 20 came up a little high and forced Hacker up. Oh, Lord. Okay. This is why we have instant replay, folks. Let's go back one more time. Take a peek. So the 20, yeah, comes up into the 11. Oh, Lord. All right, well, nonetheless, here we are under caution one more time. Heavy right front damage on the 11 car of Brian Hacker. But as long as it's not messing with the steering, shouldn't be a problem. We're on lap 62 of 125, and we've had a handful of cautions already. I'll tell you, Rick, these guys, they make me so nervous when they're racing. It makes me have to drink or something. I don't know.
The funny thing, whoever watches the charity race will be Chris and Rick trying to figure out who's in what car, since iRacing will be giving out. Yeah, that is going to be tough. That's one thing, Terry, that I've actually thought about. I'm like, because you guys are going to do it under hosted, and I'm like, oh man, that means iRacing is going to, this is going to be interesting.
Well, yeah, because we talked about that, Rick. You see, is we got guys in both leagues that run the same number. So the only fair way to do it is run what you brung.
Yep.
And we are back under the green once again. Ryan Nolan continues to just do a very, very good job jumping that green flag. And this time the 11 really getting a good run too. He's down almost side by side, but we are under caution already.
Holy cow, it's a pile up.
Oh boy.
44, 17, 85, 51. Take your pick.
Oh yeah. They're trying to figure out how to get out of it. All right, back we go. We're watching the 96. Oh, it happened in front of him, though. I think the 51 and the 44 may have gotten together. So we're going to have to go back and take a different angle here. We can do that. Pop the top again. I think I'll have another round. Oh, the 44 into the 17. Oh, AJ Rogers gets crushed on the inside line. Oh, man. That, folks, is the short track version of the big one. Oh, yeah, don't make me sing.
Yeah, Brad, I'll be sending you the bill here pretty soon. Talk with your boy Matthew, find out your address. It's going to be a big one, too. Because not only do we have to hear that here, okay, and it's going to be forever stuck in the broadcast, but I'm probably going to have to deal with it tomorrow at work, too. Because it's going to be stuck in this. No, it's going to be, okay?
I think we're going to go full on Christmas tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
After we pop the top again.
Exactly.
I think I'm going to have another round. Then I'll settle up, my friend. Dang. Dang, dang, dang.
Hey, Terry, it's not just me who needs the medicine, okay?
Listen, I came in tonight, and I told you before we even got going, look, I'm tired. When I'm tired, I have a hard time controlling it.
All bets are off.
Remember that time, Rick, we were racing downstairs at the house, and I decided it'd be more fun to go backwards and run into you?
Yeah, that was back in the old days when we had these things called LAN parties.
Single file restart because of the number of cautions in the 87 takes full advantage. One slow car to the inside. That's Dylan Blankenship in the 51, having trouble getting up to speed.
That was actually back in 99 or early 2000 because there was NASCAR 99.
Yeah, it was Papyrus, yeah.
Yep. We went to the store. That's actually, we just first met. We haven't been friends for that long at that point. Like, hey, why don't you come over to my house and do some racing? I'm like, okay. So we did. And there was beer involved. Gary, just so you know, he drank more than me again.
You think?
He's like, you want another one? I'm like, no, I'm still on my third one here, bud. He's like, oh, I've had 6. He's like, you know what would be cool as we're drafting. Okay, this is my sim racing. I should have known. I should never got Chris into iRacing. We're drafting. He's in front of me. He's like, push me. He goes, you know what would be fun? I'm like, what? He slams on the brakes, spins the car around. He starts driving backwards, and we're taking out all the AI cars. I'm like, okay, whatever. We'll have fun. Then when I signed him up for iRacing, I'm like, you can't do what we used to do. Okay, iRacing will kick you out of the server. I promise.
Good old days.
HMR.
Ryan Nolan still enjoying that lead, man. He has led 72 laps so far this one. Hacker's been credited with 2.
Hacker just trying to figure out a way to get up to the back bumper of the 87 there, Chris, but having a tough time doing it here tonight.
He may have developed a push there, Rick. That damage to the right front.
It's not helping him.
It's not helping, yeah. We'll keep an eye on him. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to drop down into cockpit mode and just take a look at the steering wheel. This should tell you everything you need to know about how that car is handling. We'll listen to him as he goes into the corner. Yeah, actually, it don't seem too bad right there. I was expecting to hear a slightly lower RPM or slightly more on the brake. Under caution. Oh boy, Chris stumped this time in the 98. Heavy damage. We'll have to go back and take a peek and see what happened to Chris. Stumped behind Andy Lambert in the 72. Drops down to the inside. Has plenty of room. Oh, boy.
Oh.
Yeah, boy. That plenty of room sure does close up quick here on a short track, doesn't it?
It does.
Yep.
Well, Andy, for that crash, I want to congratulate you for winning an Abuto Ozone. It is here in Milton, in my garage. Bill.
It'd go really good with the hardware that he's already got at his house, hopefully.
I know.
So again, we're going to start restart here, single file. This is simply due to the number of cautions. One of the rules I like, actually, you have
I do like it.
5 cautions or more, boom. You guys start single file till you learn how to control yourselves again. Although, I don't think this is anything about the control of the cars. It's South Boston, baby, and she does this to a lot of drivers. This is a very tough track. Hey, Rick, you want to talk about, real quick, in case people haven't heard, the news about a certain track that you were just telling me, yesterday?
Actually today, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, today.
So North Wilkesboro is getting scanned by iRacing, ladies and gentlemen. iRacing has gone there. They are in the process of scanning it now. Dale Earnhardt Jr. got a bunch of his friends together. They went and cleaned up the track so that way they can scan it. And they're going to be re-putting it into the sim like it was back in 1987. So any of you old-timers out there, if you ever been to North Wilkesboro. North Wilkesboro. There we go. Look, I'm thinking of my old job, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Anyway, if you ever been there and you got pictures, go to Dale Jr.'s Twitter. You'll see the post. Gives out a contact name of the person that you want to send those to, because that is how the track is going to be set. Now, this is kind of cool because he's doing it in 1987. So could that mean that we're getting some newer, older cars for iRacing in the future, maybe? That could be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Look, these guys are lining up 2 by 2. That's kind of cool. I didn't expect this. I thought single file, but no, 2 by 2 is the call. A little bit of wheel spin out of the 87, but we are back under the green. Hey, Rick, you want to see something really cool?
I want to see something cool.
Mark Arthur did something for us.
I was going to say, as long as it's not like me and my old TRJ karting t-shirt, because I have a new t-shirt and a new sweatshirt coming. Terry, I couldn't hold out for the hat, but it has been confirmed. So I told Tim the other night, real quick, Chris, I know you want to do this, but so I told Tim, I went on and I said, man, I really want one of those shirts and sweatshirts. Gotta have it. You know I do. I said, but are hats really in the works? Because I heard a little birdie who kind of smelled like Bud Light tell me that they were in the works, and I guess Mama did give him permission to have hats made. So those are coming, my friend.
That's
and I will have 10.
So good friend and series admin and all around good dude, Mark Arthur made this for me, Rick. And while this isn't exactly the right kind of car, the right kind of track to use it on, I gotta do it, man. We're gonna go ahead and turn it up.
Oh yeah.
You know, like I said, this isn't exactly the right car to do it with, but I had to give a taste, because I'll tell you one thing for sure, that will be happening during that charity race. in January, and I look forward to using it. I got to thank Mark Arthur one more time for making that up for us. What a super thing to do, man. That's so cool.
Yeah, we don't want to be like every other broadcaster out there, be like, okay, guys, we're going to crank it up. I mean, crank it up is cool, don't get me wrong, but now we turn it up. Here at the Turn 3 Racing Network.
Terry, you might know who I'm talking about. Come on now.
It's that guy that owns that league on iRacing.
Hot potatoes or something like that.
Hot potatoes. Flaming onions. Can't remember.
Now you're getting to my level. Ryan Nolan, your race leader. A gap of 0.9 of a second. And Brian Hacker, that damage really might be starting to affect that car. Hacker sitting 0.9 of a second behind your race leader of Ryan Nolan, Justin Rigsby. Steady as she goes. Third place run right now for Justin. And Matthew Spinks trying to climb himself out of a trouble spot. He is running in fourth spot right now. And look who's made it all the way back up to fifth. From 13th to fifth, it's going to be Justin McDuff. Right, that is pretty cool, right? I mean, let alone the time that it takes to do something like that, but to do it for somebody else and be like, here you go, guys. Hope you like it. Should be all right. And the funny thing is, he gave it to me. He goes, you know, not for nothing, and I'm sure you'll be okay. But when I hit the go button on that particular graphic, it really does bog my computer down. I said, Mark, you know. It might. Let's try it out. Man, it runs smooth like butter. No problem found.
I think Mark's using one of them old,
yeah, you're absolutely right.
1969 computer things.
Yeah. You know, Rick, I don't know if you even know about this, but Terry, you're absolutely right. Thoughts and prayers going out to Mark Arthur and his family, his wife, suffering a huge loss. And you know, it's one thing to have a loss like that in your family, but have it so close to the holidays, man, that makes it just double tough. So, hearts, prayers, thoughts, everything going out to the Arthur family, and yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. 20 laps to go for your race leader, Ryan Nolan, as he is coming out of turn 4 across the start finish line. It's going to make it 19, and Ryan has just absolutely dominated this field tonight. And, you know, he has done that for most of this East Coast swing, man. He has been on fire. And those rotors, they are starting to glow.
They are glowing.
Look at that red out of those things. They're hot. I'm sure he's starting to get a little bit of a shake out of that brake pedal at this point.
Not for nothing, Chris. Look at that 11 machine out there. He's got the damage. He's not as fast, but he's not giving up at all. He's been hanging tough in second. He's led 2 laps here tonight. The rest all go to that man right there in the 87, Ryan Nolan.
Yeah, Hacker actually starting to pour it on a little bit. It's closed the gap to just a half a second. So 0.4 of a second off in 4 laps. Ryan Hacker trying to open it up a little bit. Maybe he was reserving a little bit, Rick, as the gap now 0.4 of a second. The thing I can talk about there, Terry, is, you know, when you have a league, if it's a good league, it becomes more than a league. It becomes a second family. And Rick and I are lucky enough to have a couple of those. But certainly if something happens within that structure, and it's been proven once, many times, either with Rick and I, either at the broadcast, or if you go back and look at some of the archives on Facebook on the Racing for a Cause, if something happens to one of your family members, it does hit the league. It does, you know, everybody's there, and in a good league, everybody's there to be supportive. And certainly out of both leagues, we see that, and that's why we say what we say about those two leagues. You know, Racing for a Cause, Blazing Pedals, the two best leagues in iRacing, bar none.
And that's what it comes down to, Chris. I mean, you know, we said it time and time again. You know, you and I, we had to start a part in starting our Racing for a Cause, and that's exactly what it grew into. You know, it grew into a huge second family for us, and then we started, you know, broadcasting the Blazing Pedals, and you guys opened up your arms and you welcomed Chris and I into the family too. And you know, so definitely, like Chris said, and you know, our thoughts and prayers are with Mark and the family. Brad, the same for you, and Matthew. You know, and everybody out there. And that's what's so cool, and one of the reasons why Chris and I really do enjoy doing the broadcast. And that's one of the deciding factors of us not going into retirement like we were planning on, you know, a few months ago. And you know, you guys are family to us just as much as the Racing for a Cause guys, and we appreciate it, and we do enjoy all our time that we spend together.
Yeah, cutting back, but definitely could not step away from family, and that's what it comes down to. 6 laps to go for Ryan Nolan. That 87 has been on an absolute tear. He's led 117 laps so far of this one. Wants to add 6 more. That'd be 123, Rick. I'll do the math.
Thank you.
Oh, buddy.
I don't have no screen space to bring up my calculator anywhere and do my Common Core math. So,
well, we don't have time for the Common Core. I mean, we only got 4 laps to go now. And Ryan Nolan is just absolutely dominating. He saw Hacker coming close. I think he put the pedal down and said, okay, I have a little bit in reserve too, and he is gone. 1.1 second lead now over second place Brian Hacker, and the points will not change between first and second place on the East Coast side. Brian Hacker going to pick up a huge round of momentum as AJ Hamill not even starting tonight's race. So Hacker looks like he may have secured, as of tonight, the overall championship. Man, oh man, what a huge thing as we see the checkered flag out from the flag stand, and Ryan Nolan looks to be cruising his way on into victory lane. Your race winner, the 87, Ryan Nolan. Brian Hacker second, Justin Rigsby with a fine third place finish, Matthew Spinks fourth, and Justin McDuff rounding out that top 5.
We got McIntyre, Frabert, Lambert, Wright, and Jeff Stiles rounding out that top 10. Chris Stump in 11th position, Gary Easton in 12th, Al Smith Jr. 13th, Dylan Blankenship 14th, AJ Rogers 15th, Chad Meadows still on pit road there, and then number 3 machine 16th. And unfortunately, Mike Wolfscott not taking the green flag here tonight, going to be scored in 17th.
Absolutely, as Ryan Nolan starts to burn down those tires. This is a neat trick here. You do this, Rick, so Tech can't catch what you were doing. You bash in the fenders
against the wall. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you got
yelling to his pit crew, come get this titanium off here. Gotta burn up the jet fuel.
Good stuff. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back for some post-race interviews.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And I want to thank everybody once again for coming on out. You've watched Racing for a Cause right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. This is a super late model, East Coast side. And we've got our top 3 ready to go. Finishing tonight in 3rd spot, the number 99. It's going to be Justin Rigsby. Let's get him on up here. Justin, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
What's going on, fellas?
Well, buddy, we're having a good night. We got racing for a cause out here, and we got you finishing in third spot tonight, man. Congratulations.
Appreciate it, man. It's been a rough season.
It has been a little bit rough on you, but eventually that roughness starts to fade away, and certainly a third place finish is going to start helping you feel a little bit better about it all.
Yeah, it feels like maybe we can get it turned around. Maybe the trick is to skipping all but 5 minutes of practice. I got in here a little late and somehow threw it together. It was fun.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Congratulations once again. Anybody on the 99 that you need to thank tonight, Justin?
Star Legacy Foundation for being our primary. Just a great cause with dealing with pregnancy loss and complications and so forth. They help people in those situations, which is never a good thing. So I'm glad to have them on board bringing awareness. Heritage Barbershop, Ryan's Fatted Calf, Attitude Graphics for giving me this beautiful car, and just couldn't ask for a better team.
Yeah, man. It's been a good one here for you tonight. Again, congratulations on the third place finish. Justin, it's good to talk to you, bud, as always.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Driver of the number 99, bringing it home in third spot tonight, it's going to be Justin Rigsby. In second spot, we don't want to really show that yet. In second spot, it's that Beagle Freedom Project car, the number 11, Brian Hacker. Brian, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. You got a copy.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Well, but I don't have to do a post-race interview for you this week, so that's good. Did you ever catch that, by the way?
I did. That was pretty good. Better than any I could do, honestly.
Well, bud, listen, you come in tonight, second place on the East Coast point side. You take a second only to the guy that's leading the points, Ryan Nolan, but you had a battle there for a little while. Right front damage, did that get in your way at all at the end?
It's hard to tell. I think it did a little bit. The car wasn't quite as good after that happened. I had my shot there. It's just so hard to pass here, and the top side didn't come in the way I thought it might, and the bottom was just it was too strong. I couldn't get around him. I couldn't really get to him. I got to his bumper a couple times, but he was definitely faster for most of the race tonight. I thought there were a few moments that I maybe could have gotten around him, but we were pretty even, and he ran a good race. So congrats to him. I think more or less that kind of sealed up the East deal, unless he has some really bad luck next week. But I think we're sitting pretty good overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, AJ Hamill not racing tonight. So the overall, by my calculations, which are far from perfect, I think is probably clinched, but we'll wait until next week to find out for sure.
Yeah, I'm not a mathologist either, so we'll leave that up to the smart people.
Yes, sir. Anybody on the 11 that we need to thank tonight?
Yeah, like always, Beagle Freedom Project. Check them out online. They've got a pretty cool Facebook page. You can see a lot of videos of what they do. Narrative Coffee on Pit Road. Thanks to Mike Holtzclaw tonight for sponsoring the race, and onpitroad.com. They're on the car as always. Al Smith and Jimmy McIntyre, who were in the race tonight, and Smith Racing Inc. Those guys, and the good group of guys to be around and some fast guys to practice with. And congrats to Nolan for the win and making it extremely difficult for next week. But we're gonna try regardless. And thanks to you guys and Andy as always.
All right, bud. Brian, thank you very much, man, and congratulations once again on the second place finish.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
That was the driver of the number 11, Brian Hacker, and that means we have one more guy to talk to. And right now, he's on his lid. The 87 of Ryan Nolan finishes this one in first place, celebrates, puts the damage to the car, and I think this is to avoid tech, but he'll have to let us know. The 87 of Ryan Nolan, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I've got you guys.
So, Ryan, first question I got to ask is, you kept that car clean throughout the entire race. At the end, well, you started bouncing off the wall, you were smoking the motor, and then decided to put it up on the lid. You're avoiding tech, aren't you?
Yeah, I got to smash all the illegal bits off it before they can see it. But you aren't celebrating until you're on your roof. That's one thing I've learned.
Well, man, we have done this a lot with you this second half of the season. The East Coast has definitely been your bag, man. All the rust is definitely knocked off, and you had a hell of a race tonight. You led 123 laps there. it's got to be feeling pretty good for you at this point, right?
Yeah, it's starting to just get in the rhythm and feeling comfortable back iRacing again. And I look forward to these races every Wednesday night. And yeah, I'm just super happy that we're running pretty well. And I think the beginning part of the season, I kept making mistakes, getting wrecks, this and that, and trying to just be a little bit more patient. But yeah, it was a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch, man. You had a really good race there. Anybody on the 87 that you need to thank tonight, my friend?
Yeah, first got to thank the competitors. Brian was super strong there, and I think there was one time I might have pinched him up into the wall a little bit. I didn't mean to, so I'm sorry, but yeah, he definitely ran us clean, and so that was nice. And got to thank my wife, my family, you guys for putting this on, the Humane Society for picking up animals and adopting them out, and Andy for putting this series on. It's been a good year.
Yeah, it really has. And man, the second half, it's been all you, Ryan. So congratulations once again, not only for the second half of the season, but for tonight's win.
Thank you very much. See you guys next week.
And that was the driver of the number 87, Ryan Nolan, tonight's race winner. And ladies and gentlemen, one more time, we're extremely proud that on January 25th, 2020, there's going to be a charity race between Racing for a Cause and the Blazing Pedals League. Both of those leagues can be found right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Charity race will be supporting the Head and Neck Cancer Alliance. And, of course, broadcasted right here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Qualifying time will be 8 o'clock. We're going to go live at 7:30. We got a lot of people to talk to, a lot of people to thank for their generosity. As of going live this evening, there were only, we'll go the other way. There were 19 drivers already signed up at $10 a head. If you're a member of Racing for a Cause or Blazing Pedals, make sure to get involved in this race one way or the other, and we would really appreciate it. Guys, right now it looks like we're going to be donating well over $1,000 to this charity, and man, what a good deal that's going to be, Rick.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for that. I mean, I don't want to push 2000. Actually, yeah, I do. 2019 go away. 2020 is going to be a great start. What a way to start the new year, Chris. These guys are going to be able to put down a charity race. They're going to raise some good money for a cause that's near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. And that's going to be a great way for them to start their season come February. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait.
If you are a member of Racing for a Cause or Blazing for a Pedals and you haven't signed up yet but want to, make sure to talk to either Terry Foster on the Blazing Pedals side or Troy Radford over on the Racing for a Cause side. They'll get you set up with the rule package that's been set. It will be the K&N car at MIS. And I guess that's going to do it for tonight, man. It was a good, fun race, short track racing at one of its best. Had a few cautions, but we were able to get around that and get some really good green flag laps in. Ryan Nolan, Brian Hacker, Justin Rigsby, your top three. And I would like to say once again, thank you to everybody that came out, spent a little time with us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, watching Racing for a Cause Super Late Model East Coast Edition. We look forward to doing it one more time next Wednesday night. Same time, same channel, right here on YouTube. I want to thank everybody. And Rick, thank you as well for coming on out tonight. And we will see you guys next week.
Good night, all.